Hey, Scott.
Hello, Luke. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Outstanding. I mean, out of body. As I'll explain. Uh, so Jack wrote. I said I'd like to have a three-way Zoom with you, Luke, and I. How soon can we do it? And he said, not till tomorrow before 10 a.m. your time. And oh, by the way, I'm off Thursday or I'm gone Thursday. All right. So I said, let me have a Zoom meeting with Luke. I'll explain everything, record it, and then send it to you. And then tomorrow, or when I'm sleeping, you and Luke can coordinate who does what. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is the bombshell breakthrough. Joe in less than 18 hours. I mean, it might even be less than 13 hours. It looks like he solved it. The one last step is he's going to upload a test build on Eagle tonight. Once again, everything in life can't be perfect. So starting tomorrow, he's on vacation for a week until Sunday and with his daughter. And so he's kind of out of pocket. Okay. But we have some really big meetings coming up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week for the 33. And so far, the 33 and the 0217 build that you did with the kind of updated color seems to work good. The refresh is working. I can go outside the building. I'm just absolutely blowing people away by going up an elevation and seeing the New York skyline. I still don't know how that's done. And you can imagine if I'm blown away, my customers or my business partners they're just totally blown away right now. So for the next week and a half, our number one focus is not YouTube. It's the 33 ACM Hall of Fame proof of concept demonstration. That's kind of number one right now. Now, in the background, though, what I want to show you is there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening right now in between levels and in between builds. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is show you what I have seen over the last couple of hours that I've been poking around. Like I said, we're going to record it. Jack has, said, this is all because of the terrible underlying foundation that Ruslan left you with, and it's and I understand that. So number one is I am not. This video, I hope, is a what they call an anchor point to begin the process of redoing, or at least planning on redoing, what we need to do in order to tie this all together, because I absolutely agree. It's going to keep breaking. And by the way, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with the lighting here in the room, but
That's fine. That looks great.
All right. Now, let me share out the screen here and show you what I am seeing. And this is the most important part. So I'm going to share this. And what I'm going to do is record it. It's recording right now. And I'm going to turn it into a video. Hold on here. I just want to make sure I'm not, sometimes I goof up here and so we should go to Zoom. Let's see here. So I close now. All right, I'm just trying to make sure that we're recording here. So let me stop sharing a second here. Yeah, we're recording. Okay, so now I'm going to share again with sound and share. Okay, so if I go to 021724, which you did, the V colors are correct. 0.11. I know I said in the past 0.111141, but you know, it's rounding it back to the 0.11 and it looks great. Okay, so what Jack has told me is, because this is a residual from Rustlin, is you go in and you click load visual set and you clear the cache here. All right, and then you go new game. And then you go back to the 33. Okay, and you go continue. Now, this process that I'm going to show you is how I test. So going forward, what I'd like to do is to, when a build is done, I want you or Jack or whoever's involved, Trevor, whatever. The first thing is I want you to do what I'm going to do so you can see what I see. So it doesn't make any difference how it looks in the development environment. It only matters as to how it looks to the user. Okay, so I'm the user, and what we're seeing here is the user. If I hit, the first thing I do is I hit the N key to get essentially the screen names. Okay, and what you can see here is screen 7, whenever it has a white background like that, that means it's trying to load. And whenever it has a gray background like that, it means it can't make a connection. That's what I found. So I'm going to hit the F key and I'm going to go to, this is what I do. I'm going to go and refresh number 7, right? And refresh number 8. And bingo, it comes up. Now, you can see here, this is 0217. I don't know why, but I've been playing with this all day yesterday, and the colors are perfect. So I'm going to hit the Alt key right now, and I'm going to see if it is picking up the V value equals to 0.11. All right, now you can see here that when I click the Alt, it doesn't work. Now, it worked an hour ago. It worked yesterday perfectly. All right, now, F key, I'm not getting anything, and I don't know why. So when this happens to me, the first thing I do is I go in and I hit the refresh browser. That clears the slot. We have 5 slots. So it's now rotating to the next slot. It's according to Quentin, the CEO, it never tries to come back to the original slot. All right, so what we're going to do is, once again, go to the menu, say yes, go to the visual set, clear these. This is, I mean, I hope we can get this to where it's automatic. We go to a new game. Now, once we create the mechanism for the store and reload, I want to be able to reuse those levels, rename them. All right, but for the time being right now, let's go to the 33.
Yeah.
All right. All right, and then we're going to go continue here.
Mhm.
Right, and you can see here, this time it's loading. See that? And
Oh, really?
if I hit the N key, you can see right now the colors are still light, okay?
Yeah.
So if I hit the Alt key right now and I go to, now once again, the reason I'm showing you this is I'm surprised because this was working perfectly an hour ago and it was working perfectly yesterday, right? And you can see here that it's showing 0.11, all right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to change this to 0.11. Now, the color should be darker. I don't know why it's not darker right now, but it's not. All right, and I'm going to now you see how the blues here got darker?
Yeah, yeah.
And you see how the colors here. So even though the setting there was 0.111, it didn't pick it up, okay? So I'm gonna go here and hit the F menu. I'm gonna do a refresh of 7, right? And there it goes, okay? And that looks perfect, okay? So if I swing around here, and you can see the mouse right now is working pretty smooth. As I mentioned yesterday, I have no idea why, but whenever a new build comes in, it routinely is slow, jerky. And for some reason, it seems that after 2 or 3 reloads or leave and come back into the level, seems to be smooth. It's almost like it learns, okay? But you can
Yeah.
see here, this is what you want. Smooth movement, okay, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. And once again, these screens are not loading, but if I go to the F menu here, let's try this. Let's try the upper, all right?
Mhm.
All screens at one time. And what I noticed is I'm looking for a flash back here. There goes flash. So I know that it has accepted the bulk reload and it's
Yeah.
attempting now. You see that? It's attempting to load all the screens. So I guess what I'm going to say is take a bow, bravo, bravo. That's working now. That was not working. And whatever you guys did, it's now working. So, once again, if I go down here and we're on Zoom, so Zoom is going to put a little bit of a delay, but you can see here, there's an individual screen here didn't load. Most of the screens are loading. So this, and if I turn the N key off here, this is perfect for the big presentations that we have this Thursday, this Friday, next Tuesday, and next Wednesday. Huge presentations to customers, potential customers, actually 1 or 2 potential customers in that entire period. And so the 33, what I'm going to say is, congratulations, it's working. Number 1. Number 2, if you look at the lighting, I look at the ceiling here, you can see it looks pretty well lit. And what I mean by well lit is uniformly lit. See that right now?
Yeah.
If I move back and forth, so this is what I call the gold standard. The floor looks correct. The colors on the screens look correct. Changing the V to 0.11. All right, and I can actually go here to the front doors. And I click on the front doors here. There we go. I love it. Okay, and then if I go out here, if I go too far, I hit the, you know, the skybox. But if
Yeah.
I go down here and what I'm going to do with customers is my partners and I have talked about this, and they love this idea, is we're going to go all the way to the back here of this building and this tree, swing around, all right, go down this path a little bit here, and then hit the up key for up in elevation, right? And we're going to start essentially with this view, and we're going to come around here, you know, type of thing. I mean, this is gorgeous, you know, and then go down this path here and come the Y key right now. I'm coming down in elevation, right, etc. Okay. Okay, so the 33, yes, it's working. It's man, I'll tell you, the coordination between Mitchell and James and the skybox and you and Jack, man, outstanding, just outstanding. Okay, so this is what I need, and I don't need this to get screwed up. But what I'm going to show you is what I can't figure out right now. Okay, so I'm going to hit the M key right now, and now I'm going to go back to the there's the Virtual Expo Center. So the I want Jack to hear this as well. The University Hall level right now, we're not going to touch. The Art Gallery 20, that's the original gallery that we did like 22 months ago, 20 months ago. We're not going to touch that. The 22 is the original 3D control center that has 10 30-foot screens and then a wing of 6 20-foot screens on one side and a wing of 6 20-foot screens on the other side. So the 22 was the original 3D control center. We've done a number of videos. We've showed that to a number of customers. They can't believe it. The 60 right now is the new variant. And I don't know whether it's, yeah, it looks like James has got this installed right now. So let me do this. Let me go. The purpose of today is just to go through where we are. You're seeing what I'm seeing, right? And then what do we do next? New game. So what this is 60, 60 30-foot screens, 2 high, edge to edge, 360 degrees around. Okay, now I don't know whether the F menu is wired in right now. Okay, you can see it's got placeholders. It's showing that the first 20 screens are on, right? So let's see if they load. So if I put the N key, all right, so the N key on this, oh, I gotta click continue. Here we go. So the N key on this is working, all right? And the screen numbers, you see they're not as vivid blue. So if I hit the Alt key, and let's say what the screen color is here. So it looks like 0.11. Okay, so I don't know why the blue on the numbers is not as blue, but I'm not going to worry about that's kind of a minor thing right now. But you know, once again, these screens, if I hit the F menu, and if I go to refresh all, there it goes. You can see that, okay?
Yeah.
The color of the screen, the color of the green NVIDIA, the color of the guy there, that's his name is Jensen Wong. He's the CEO and the founder, but you can see we still, so the blue here should be darker, but for right now, we're not going to touch this. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I'm seeing, but we're not going to touch it. Now, for some reason here, let's see, yeah, see that? So you can see
Within,
screens all the way around 60 of them right now. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
all
I was
right.
gonna ask. I just wanted to ask if you were to re-enter the V value on HSV for the screens, would that change anything, or would it just stay the same?
Oh, that's a good point. Let's try it. So if I go Alt and I go screen color
Yeah.
and I go 0.11, okay, back. Yep. The screen 11 color is a little
Yeah.
bit lighter blue, but the colors of the screens,
Yeah.
it looks perfect to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
I turn the N off. I mean, that's his facial color, the red on the, you know, the YouTube. These were tests. Um, I think it's only the numbers that got lighter here, and they should be probably one font size smaller. But once again, I'm putting this on the record, but we're not going to touch this right now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the M menu. All right. And here's what I discovered this morning is there are in the 55s, there's a Expo Center 55, which has the Tesla cars. There's this thing that says COVID-19 Expo 55. This was the presentation done to the United Nations General Assembly by Chuck on September 27th. All right. And
All right.
this EDA is a derivative. It is a clone. Let me think now. Yeah. The COVID-19 is cloning EDA. The ACM 55 is blank right now. Well, actually, it's a clone of the EDA. All right. And then we have the Virtual Hall of Fame 33. And then we have this virtual EIS, which is Executive Information Center 111. This is the level I've put on the back burner. It has a bunch of rooms and walls. So as opposed to this open expo environment with a series of alcoves going like clockwise around the entire periphery, which we're going to see in just a minute here. The YouTube testing gallery, I told Joe to experiment with this using his you know, when he's ready to go ahead and use that. So the first thing I discovered today is if I hit the COVID-19, this is something that is very active right now. We have people like very interested in this right now. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do it, you know, what Jack said. I'm going to remove these. I don't know whether these saves actually do anything. but you know, this apparently clears any cache, right? And then I'm going to click continue. Now, the one thing I want you to notice is that the, oh, I picked the wrong level here. Hold on. So I'm going to go back to the COVID-19. All right, now, officially for the record here, I want to say, all right, let me make sure that I clear all the cache here. Load visual set. All right. Okay, and new game. All right. All right, so I guess when it goes to new game, it doesn't go back. Yeah, see, it defaults to the expo. That's okay. All right, I want you to notice the ceiling here, and I want you to notice the lighting. All right, so I'm going to go here to the COVID-19, and I want you to notice the ceiling immediately when it comes up. Totally different. All right, now, the way the ceiling looks here is near perfect, right? You see there's no shadows between these accent beams up here. The, you know, Joe has, I don't know what kind of tools he has, but he says that there's like a lot of lights here that are on that do nothing. That he says the lighting could use improvement. The reason I'm saying that is because to me, this lighting is pretty good. Okay. I mean, it's evenly balanced, all that kind of stuff. Now, what I want to point out here is that on this level, COVID-19, if I hit the N key, you see how the blue, you see the blue in the size of the fonts, and you see the relative, you know, that doesn't go edge to edge, you know. It's a special font. And for some reason here, lobby 10, lobby 3 are not loading. Okay, so the R key resets it. That's the reset button. So I'm going to go to the F menu right now really quick, and I'm going to go to the lobby. And you can see here, lobby 1 and 2 for this level should be off, and the rest should be on, but I need to do a lobby global refresh here. You can see it's refreshing right now. So the refresh, I mean, look at that. That's like totally magic, okay? I mean, you go from white screens, refresh. So what I've asked Joe to think about when he gets back, Jack and I have already talked about it, is there should be a way to go in and say load a batch of screens, like load lobby, like we just did, and then did they load? In other words, I mean, is there a flag that can come back and say, yeah, the screen loaded? And if not, then without user doing anything, it attempts another reload. And if it still doesn't load, it attempts another reload. You know, in other words, you know, the bottom line is you should be able to see everything. So as I go through here, and you can see now the mouse is smooth as silk, right? So we're at the COVID-19 level. The slats up here, the accent lighting looks good. You can see there's some reflection of the screens into the floor, but subtle, very subtle. The skylight reflections that sometimes you see here, those are dead, they're killed, okay? That's exactly the way it should be. But you can see here that there's a lot of screens that didn't load. Now, the solution that I have right now is I go back here and I go all the way up to the top here, master reload, right? Click, right? So we're gonna see if they see how the screens flash back here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, what I want to show you is this is perfect lighting, perfect reflection on the floor, no major kind of lights coming from the skylight or even from the side windows, which people we've shown this to have just said, hey, you know, it draws my eye away from the screen. I want to see the screen, right? So you can see here, even with a master reload, you know, some screens loaded, some screens didn't. If I hit the F key again and I go up to the master reload here, click it. Right. So a residual problem is if I click 2 or 3 times, it's almost like there's a cache in the background that's set up because it didn't reload these screens this fast, right? It just displayed them faster. But it took 2 bulk refreshes of the entire level. But look, I mean, it's like night and day. Now there's still a couple that have not loaded. If the number is not on, that means the screen was off. Okay, so if I come in here, this looks correct. We didn't want a screen here. We wanted screens like all the way here. If you go in here, so you can see this board 9, this should be on, okay? And the reason I want to point this out is I want you to notice that in the board area here, there is a wall that comes out 1 screen, okay? Just 1 screen. It was built to house 2 screens originally, and this wall is off in the COVID-19. Now, what I'm going to do here is go back to the R, and so this is the perfect 55 screen expo. The signs are perfect. The lighting on the signs, the ability to read the name on the signs, the accents are not throwing any shadows. There's some subtle reflection from the screens into the floor, but this is perfect right now. This is the ideal, okay? I mean, could it get better? You know, I mean, you know, why are these kind of accent back here darker? It's not important right now. One of our advisors right now, who is an expert in rendering, is complaining. See the blooming here along the bottom of the window frames here? See that?
Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, his name is Dave Kasich. He has 35 years experience in Boeing. And he said, Scott, you got to get rid of that. You can't have that blooming effect. I mean, they should be kind of evenly lit, you know, like they should look like the top here. You see what I'm saying? So you're not going to do anything on that. I'm going to have as Joe looks at this thing in total, I just want to let you know that I mean, we have people that are criticizing. I mean, look how smooth this is, and they go, Scott, you got to kill this blooming thing. You know, I mean, that's not natural reflection, and anybody that's into graphics is going to see that. And I go, but look how good these screens look, and they go, they look wonderful, but you got to fix that blooming thing, okay? And I go, okay, all right. So he's our chief advisor right now on our board, and I got to do what he wants to do, and so we're going to work on that. But on a scale of 1 to 100, this is a 99.9. Okay, I mean, look at this. You can go right in and look at the lettering. Okay,
That's great.
I mean, It's just amazing. All right. Now, it now goes bad, and I'll show you what's going bad right now. So the next thing I'm going to logically check is the virtual expo right now. Right?
Mhm.
And I'll do the same thing that Jack did. So what I'm going to show you is, and I'm going to clear the cache. And I'm going to, and by the way, this is why we had to do it this way, is there's no way I could write this down. Yeah, no way, all right? But this is what spawned, all right? So the Tesla level was created first, and it spawned the COVID-19 level that we just looked at. But I think James or Jack, somebody, extensively modified the lighting. I think it was James, okay? But you can see here this expo center lighting. Look at the ceiling. Look at the difference. It looks nothing like. I mean, the signs. Look at the reflection on the sign frame. So
Yeah.
whatever is being done on COVID-19 level should, if the levels basically feed one another, should be feeding this. That's the first observation. The lighting is not good here.
Yeah.
If I hit the F menu, okay, you can see here that in the lobby, screen 1 and 2 should be off by default. I have a feeling what happened is, you know, somehow they got turned on, but for this particular level, okay, we should be able to see into the background, okay?
Right.
Right. I'm going to hit the Alt key and see what the screen color is. And you can see it's not, right? So, I mean, it's close to 0.11, but 0.11, and then okay. And let's see if that makes a difference. All right, I'll try it again, just to make sure. Screen color, 0.11. And by the way, in case you guys say, so Scott, where'd you get the 0.11? Well, I'll tell you, it was about 3 or 4 days of messing around back and forth with Rustlin until I figured out what was causing the illumination. But you can see here the ceiling, the lighting. So the screens, from what I understand, emit light, okay? So that's the screen setting that we just set. But the reflections and the lighting inside the scene are totally different. But as you can easily see, this does not look like the COVID-19, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it should, and it should. All right, so let me do this real quick, is that if I go mouse forward, backward, you can see pretty smooth, okay? And this is a Porsche. You mentioned something about the ray trace shadows. This is a standard model that I picked up, I don't know, for 20 bucks or whatever, but pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And this is a Tesla. I never can figure out whether it's a Model X or Model Y, but anyway, if you come in here, you can see the background here, the ceiling is not very well lit. All right, so the first observation is, if you come here to this first rotating platform, this is a Tesla model that came in through Blender. James actually, Rustlin did this originally and it looked like crap, okay? I mean, the floor, which is where the battery pack is, was really dark, and James figured out how to light this up. And this thing is absolutely perfect. You know, the red calipers, all that kind of stuff. if you come over here to the, this is a Tesla S, which is identical to the Tesla over here, only the body is set to translucent or transparent. I can't remember what it is, but it's too light. It used to be darker to where you could, right at that point where you could see the motors and the interior, but you could also tell it was a car. Okay, all right. Right. If you come over here to this S, all right, this platform, once again, this is all recorded, so this is the official record now update. This platform used to be rotating, it should be rotating, and I think the car looks pretty damn good. This car, we want it to be look like a normal car, right? These curved screens here, the idea here is we want to be able to open up this inside here, this expo center, to be able to put in just like a trade show where you have models on the floor and you have screens nearby. So this was James. James did this. It's still a little bit too light, but it's pretty cool. I wanted to be able to try a curved screen. So one curved screen on that side, one curved screen on this side, and we should be able to put something in here like a YouTube video showing, like how the Tesla is built or anything like that. Okay.
All right. Yeah,
All right.
documentary.
Now, once again, as we go through this, it's being recorded, so we'll have a record here, but ceiling is still too dark. And these people here around the tables, this is a carryover, and we need to be able to switch this off. So if you go to the Alt menu, there is this thing here called BUSI, and Ruslan always got it backwards. If I said to him, if you click the button, like for instance, engines, that's like the button is clicked, that should be on, and the cars here should be off. And so he has it backwards, but for right now, it's okay. But if I click business off, okay, all of these people sitting at the tables here, except the boardroom. So the boardroom is always on. There's 24-seat boardroom. These people will always be on at no matter what setting, but all these other seatings, and this was all custom work that I did with Ruslan. He was very good at people and props and that kind of stuff. But when I click Alt menu, business, all right, that should be off right there. And if I go back, you can see they're still on. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and this has the Tesla truck. I have the Tesla truck in there. Oh, that's pretty cool. I forgot we had that. All right. So now that's the Tesla level. Once again, looks good. You can see here we're getting reflection. I think the reflection looks, pretty good. In this case, there's more reflection on the floor, but it's not bad. All right, now if I hit the M menu and I go back here, now there's another level here is this EDA level. Okay, so go to EDA level. And this was a special project for a customer. And if I go to the menu here and I click yes, and I click load visual set, and I clear these, and I go new game, Okay, and I click continue. You can see now the ceiling, once again, is more like the one we were just at, the Tesla. And it should be because it's a clone of the Tesla. Okay. Oops, I have the wrong thing here. Sorry. Oops. Let's go back here. So this should be the EDA. Right. So strike those comments. Let's see what it has here. I better clear the cache once it loads. Oh, it looks better, but it's still different. So we're going to go to menu and we're going to go to load virtual set. Going to go clear, new game. Okay, so it's the Expo Center is the default. So that's probably why it's defaulting. And then I'm going to change this to EDA. Now, the first thing you'll notice is even though this is a clone of the others, you can tell from the signs, there's somewhat different lighting. However, there's more signs here. You can see that these signs, we moved the lobby desk in this case over. I would say right now that, you know, this looks to me to be close to perfect. There's more shadows, let's say, in the ceiling, but you can see as you look back in here, there's not as many dark areas, okay? Now, the screens are loading, okay? So one of the things from this, Luke, is we're going to create a laundry list from this as to, you know, why. The first thing is going to be why. You know, why is there difference between these, et cetera? In this case, you can see we have some additional screens. Let me go to the V menu or the Alt menu, right? Let's check. I think the color is the 0.11. Yeah, see that?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. And you can see these screens are loading. I'm going to hit the N key to see if the screen, oops, what did that do? Huh. All right, N key, there we go, okay. So you can see the lobby 9, lobby 10, lobby 1, lobby 2. The blue looks, that's the correct blue. The screen font size relative to the screen looks pretty good. If you go and zoom in with the mouse, pretty smooth movement. You can see all the screens haven't loaded, but if I go to the F menu and I go here to lobby and I go to lobby bulk refresh, as soon as it flashes in the background here, you know it's trying to load. Now, I have no idea what's causing this, but I would say right now, screen color is good, right? I mean, flesh tones, you know, when you look at a red, like Mentor Graphics, flesh tone again, you know, looks pretty good, right?
It does, yeah. Right.
The signs up above look good. The lighting on the slats looks good. There's no like heavy duty reflection down on the floor. Okay, but and then if you go here to the left or right, okay, you can see that a lot of the screens in here didn't reload, but if you hit the N key, this I'm not going to worry about this right now, but this was something that originally was rustling when I hit the N key. If the screen didn't try to load, it wouldn't show the number. So let's just go back in here and do a full load. I'm actually amazed, and you guys need to figure out where you go to do this, but this master reload here. You can see in this level, it's not working like it did in the previous level, right? So in the
Right.
previous level, well, there it goes. Okay, so hold on. Change, there we go. Let's see what happens here. Now the lighting in here looks great. The lighting in the lobby looked great. The load is kind of iffy. All right, so let's try going back to the F menu and do this again. And what you're looking for is when you hit this master reload here, you want to see the screens flash, which
Right.
indicates they're loading. So this doesn't look like it's picking up here. So if all right, so this thing on the left here is called the QC Center. Let's try that. Okay, so in the EDA, we have to where the load doesn't appear to be working the same. And any screen that is not loaded. So this is called I think this is called the CTO level. Let me just see here is, if I go to the CTO level. So CIO, CEO, CTO, CTO, CTO. Okay, so you can see here that the CTO, Chief Technical Officer, CFO, CTO. So you can see the CTO is coming in collapsed. It should be expanded. And according to this looks correct. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try to go refresh, 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 refresh. Okay, so the CTO level doesn't seem to be working. So this EDA level has some problems. Okay, now I want to show you something here that's kind of interesting is if I go back to the M menu, right? The only ones that, like I said, we're interested right now is Expo, COVID, EDA. ACM is a child right now of the EDA not being used. And then the Hall of Fame, okay, that we've been working on. So this is 0217 and the Hall of Fame. This is what we started with. And what I wanted to show you is this is good. Okay, so this is good. Right? So we don't need to worry about the ACM 33. You know, look at this, Luke. Even though it's 0.11, I don't know why, it's coming in white. And then if we go here to the screen, you see it's at 0.5 again.
Yeah.
So this is 0217. It didn't stick. Huh. But if I go to 0.11, perfect.
Right, okay.
I hadn't seen that before, okay? All right, now what I want to do is one last thing and then we're done, is I want to go M menu, go to the menu, yes, exit, right? Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and kill this, go up over here to 0.06. So 020624 was for me a level that had some issues. I think what we're going to do is I just want to see what this does when it loads, but I think 0217 should be our new basis. Okay, now if I go here to the Expo Center here, let me just see here. And I didn't clear the cache, so okay, that's the same. Go to menu. Load visual set. New game. Now, on one of the things that Joe did, I don't know where, to be honest with you right now, but inside you can see here, the mouse is pretty good. If you go inside here, there were here we go. Let's see if this is good. All right, you see this screen that popped up here?
Yeah.
We have okay, there we go. There we go. This is the problem one right now. 0206. I'm leaving this in because let me show you here. So I'm going to go back to R. All right. So on 0206 for this Tesla level, if you go to the F menu, the lobby screens 1 and 2 are off. See that here? But
Yeah.
they're on. See this here? All right. So 0206 at the Tesla level, Expo 55 level, is showing screens that are on. They should be off. If you come in here and you go inside here, you see there's these curved screens, but see how the screen pops up here? This is Hall 3. Look at this. So the walls are not turning on, but the screens are turning on. See that? So I left this because I don't know where this is coming from. All these screens in here that are kind of hanging, marketing, hallway, these should all be off, okay?
Right.
All right, so if I go back in here to marketing, so I left that as a way to go ahead maybe and track it down here. You see here, there's marketing. They're all off. But they're not, okay? So I don't know what happened here, but this is 0206. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Okay, now I don't know if I cleared the cache. Did I? Let's try it again here just to make sure. Okay, so there's the cache cleared. Let's go to new game. This is still 0206. And anyway, these screens, which should be off, are somehow, and that's what I call, Jack said to me, what do you mean by cross bleed? What I just showed you is cross bleed, okay?
Right.
To where you can see here, as soon as you see this black one here, all right, so here's lobby 1 and 2 that are coming up. If I hit the N key, all right, lobby 1 and 2, F key, lobby 1 and 2 should be off. right? And
Right.
if I go back here and I go in and I go into the main center, you see these you see all these screens up here that I'm running into? Look at this. I mean, first
Yeah.
of all, they're paper thin. There's just the screen, the wall's off, but the screens are still on. And then look at this. Here, this is a good example. Here is Hall 3, Hall 4. I mean, these should definitely not be on right now. Right?
Yeah, it's like they're suspended in the air, sort of thing.
Well, the way the screens work is there's a wall and then the screens hang in front of it, right? So what it
Yeah.
means is the walls are off, but the screens are coming on. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now, as far as I know, nothing changed between 0206 24 and your latest one. So what I'm going to do is kill this, come back in here and go to 0217 24 and play the app. I'm going to go back into the same level, which is the Tesla level, and those screens are not there. All right. Now, you know, I guess I'm not looking for a problem. What I'm saying is, since we don't know what was causing 0206 to do what it's doing, let's just see if 0217 is duplicating that, or somehow when you guys fixed the F menu, you fixed that as well. Okay,
Yeah.
but once again, that's what I mean by crossbleed. I'm going that these screens are bleeding down into a level where they're clearly supposed to be off. So there's no that, do game, and we'll be done here in a minute or two. But you can see here we have a lighting difference, right?
Mhm.
Right? We have a lighting difference. Screen 1 and 2 here, N key, in the Expo Center should be off. So if I hit
Right.
the F menu, I go to lobby 1 and 2, and you can see they're on. Now that means that they should be off by default. Okay. So I think
Yeah.
that's just a setting, you know, when you save it, they should be off. Okay. Right. And then we go back here and we go into the environment. Let's see if the curve screens are different. So what I
Yeah.
want to do is the curve screens, there is so in this case, we want the people sitting around the desks to be controlled in the alt menu by business, right? So if I click business off, right, they should go off, right?
Right.
Right, so those get grouped into that. There is another level here in the alt called engines. If I turn that on, what this is there are 2 jet engines that essentially come on here. Pretty cool, right? Look at that,
Wow.
right? And I guess for right now, I kind of going to change my mind. The curve screens are part of the Tesla thing right now. Just we'll kind of leave them right now. All right, now if I go look back here, you can see here this back area is called the board level. It's always been the board level, and nothing is loading here. Okay, so
Right.
I'm going to hit the F menu again. I'm going to go to the board, and you can see this is incorrect. The board should be on, right? So I think board 1 is off, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to go back. Okay, yeah, this shows the problem. All right, now for some reason, I don't know why, in 0217, right, you can see here when I go over to board 9 and board 10, right?
Yeah.
Board 10 and the wall that supports board 10 should be off, okay? I'm going to show you here in a minute here to, if I, actually, you know what I'm going to do is, let's not worry about that right now. That might get a little too deep right now. So, you know, let me go back here. Let's just worry about the stuff that we've talked about right now. And I don't think it's, see, I call it bleed. In other words, the fact that, you know, the shadows on the ceiling are not being picked up, even though these should be clones. So the perfect ceiling, again, just to go back here, is the M menu. It is the COVID. So COVID-19 Expo with 0217. This is the gold standard. So I'm going to go ahead and do the clear. And so visual set, clear, new game. All right. So what I'll end with is, I don't know what's, see now, see that it just went, oh, there it goes. It's lightening up here. See, here's the thing. I know what happened here. It goes back to the Expo Center. All right. You got to switch it here to COVID. Okay.
All right.
So the COVID-19 color, let me clear everything here. I don't know if I really have to do this. I mean, if I don't have to do it, I don't want to mess with this every time, but we'll go new game. All right. But, and you can see it defaults back to Expo, so you got to switch to COVID.
Yeah.
But that's the gold standard. You see how this looks? You see the color, the lighting, beautiful, right? Look at the color here on the slides, okay? Wonderful. Let me go to the alt menu and see if it's stuck with the 011. 01111. Okay, so that's fine. Right, and we'll go back. So this is the ceiling, the floors, the colors, the lighting, the everything should look like this. So what I'm going to do is, in summary, is I'm going to separate it right now. We're not going to worry about the space station. We're not going to worry about the control center stuff. We're only going to worry about this Expo layout right now and the ACM 33. The ACM 33 is totally new. That's working.
One sec, Scott.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry about that, Scott.
No, so basically we're done. So the thing is, what I wanted to show you, and you know, once again, I'm going to turn it into a YouTube video. You and Jack can coordinate. So the first thing is, I don't think anything right now has to be fixed immediately. Okay. I think I'm gonna be all I'm gonna be doing for the next couple of days is working on the ACM 33. If I come up with any issues, I'll let you know. Like, I'm hoping that the 0.11 sticks. Let's see if we if it sticks even here. That would be the only thing, is that every time you go in here to the 33, it should be 0.11 as far as the V value for CSV, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if I go to the Alt menu here, and I go to screen,
0.5.
yeah, see, it went to 0.5 again.
Yeah, I think I can push another update. I think I know what's causing that.
Okay, all right, whatever you come up with, but once again, I'm in good shape. What I'd like you and Jack to do is spend some time on a list of a summary of what I showed you and what should be done. In other words, what's the checkoff list? Do this first, test this first, whatever. So 0217 seems to be good. There's, as I showed you, and you guys can look at this and analyze it, but
Yeah.
Jack has said to me several times, and he's right, and that is you can't keep patching and patching and patching. What we know is code that doesn't work all the time. That's a carryover from wrestling. Okay, so what we have right now is this new guy, Joe, who's going to be on vacation this week, but you don't have to worry right now about the audio because he's basically solved it. Okay, I mean, and I mean, I can't even tell you, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on the YouTube problem long before you came on board, long before Jack came on board, and it was unsolvable. And Joe, once again, I guess that's what you learn, when you have 22 years experience. He went in, the first thing he did is he downloaded an open source version of 5.03 and went in and ripped out the guts of the browser and essentially rewrote the browser. Okay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and I go, I asked all the questions, isn't that dangerous? I mean, well, he goes, Scott, that's what everybody does. They all do that. He says,
Yeah.
nobody uses the retail Unreal Engine, okay? Because you need customization. So the thing I didn't know, the thing Jack originally said about redoing the browser and Russell said about redoing the browser, and I went, no, we're not rewriting any browser. Okay, that's too dangerous. Then who's going to support that? Who's going to support the rewrite? So when we go from 5.03 to 5.1 to 5.2 to 5.3, I mean, what are you going to do with the browser? If you got to carry that along. So I've been the fly in the ointment saying no when that was the only course. And
Yeah.
Joe convinced me that's the only way to do it. He says you just and he discovered something, and I'm trying to get clarification on this. He said that he thinks he found evidence that in the standard UE5 browser, listen to this, audio was disabled. Let me repeat that. He thinks, I mean, I didn't ask him. He says, wow, he says the standard browser, he goes, looks like audio is disabled. I go, for what reason? He goes, I have no idea. And he said it could be, I've heard that there was a lot of political and copyright issues with people feeding the audio from YouTube and using it on their channel in different ways. And so Joe thinks right now that the standard UE5 browser, which we were using, had audio disabled. And he doesn't yet know what the web browser helper did, but he goes, Well, he goes, what that could be is people complained, and so they created another path to get the audio up and not the video, you know?
Oh, right, right.
But what I want to let you know is we would have never solved the problem without rewriting the browser based on what I've seen so far right now. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Hopefully in the next couple of days, the lawyers will decide, whether this is something we have to protect, because it's a special thing we've done, or not. But the YouTube audio is now, done as far as I'm concerned. So 22 months of me chasing it, you chasing it, it all boiled down to the fact that it looks like it was disabled.
Wow.
Isn't that bizarre? That's bizarre.
It is. I'm really curious to know a little bit about how Joe resolved it.
No, I'll tell you how he solved it, because he sent me some, detailed write-ups.
Mm,
He went in, took the browser and modified it
yeah, yeah.
to work with YouTube, and he tapped into the YouTube APIs, and they have they have a full screen API, and then they have an embedded API, and he used, I mean, he was interacting with YouTube APIs and
Mm.
a modified web browser and Unreal Engine. That's how he did it.
Oh, wow. It's impressive.
And as far as I'm concerned, I just want that done. Okay. In other words, I told the lawyers, I said, you decide what you want to do, but I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night anymore because I can't show audio over YouTube. Okay.
Mm,
So I told Joe, I says, enjoy your vacation. When you get back next week, I said, we'll take it further. But he showed me in his dev environment multiple YouTube videos playing with sound, and he could click them, turn them off, turn them on, stop them, pause them, scrub them, all the functionality, right?
wow, that's great.
All right. So once again, in summary, okay, you and Jack, rather than to keep chasing all of these, things, go in, analyze it. Why don't all the expo levels that were created as part of the same level, why don't they all look as good as the COVID-19? I mean, what's different between COVID-19 lighting and the expo lighting and the EDA lighting, why are those screens in 2.0206 popping up, but they're not popping up in 0217? What's the difference? So I would say, come up with a list of recommendations. I mean, I'm sorry, not Joe, Jack mentioned way back about batch loading and figuring out a way to determine, the screen loaded or didn't load. If it didn't load, why should the user see a blank screen? It should keep loading until a flag comes back and says loaded. So in the minute or two that the screens are loading, all of the loading and reloading in batches should be all done in the background. Now, if you guys can figure out a way to do that, I'd say proceed on that. Go do that, right?
Yeah.
If Jack is, I don't know how close Jack is to this, creating a relational database of the F menu. He said that originally Ruslan created a table. Before you joined, Luke, Jack and I tried to figure out how to export the table in Excel in order to do the save load virtual sets, okay? And a virtual
Right.
set, by the way, is if I go in and I have a particular level and I have a certain set of screens on, certain set of screens off, content for those screens, whatever that is a saved virtual set. That's a set. Now,
Right.
if I bring it back in and I decide to put other screens or substitute screens or change what screens are on and off, that's a separate virtual set, right? You see what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
So the loading in batches, the virtual sets, the ability, Jack was working on, I guess he gave Trevor an assignment to create a relational database, but Jack thought that he could create a virtual set load save kind of system that was tapping into a SQL database. If you guys can figure out how to advance that, please work on that. But once again, other than that 0.5 not sticking on the ACM 33, that's looking really good. I have to do some videos. I have some demos, 4 huge demos over the next 5 days, okay? I think it looks great. I don't need the COVID right now. I don't need the Tesla level. I don't need the EDA level. There's nothing I need to do on those right now except figure out why they don't all look like the COVID. The COVID is perfect. The lighting, the ceiling, the reflections, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And in summary, you guys work together. Come up with a list. I need a list, okay? And I would like, if you're going to work on something, do a video recording. Here's what it looks like now, and then here's what it looks like after we got done, type of thing, right? In other words, before and after. You're pretty good at creating some, screen videos. Just you do that part. But once again, Jack said, you can't keep patching Wrestlin's crap. Here we go. All right. So as of today, the 18th, 19th, as of today, the 19th, yes. Now figure out a list and a sequence and start with batch loading and being able to bring some kind of flag back. I told it to load. Yes, it did load. Okay. I mean, is there any way to do that? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry. I don't know how, I think that we went a little bit longer today, but this is now the official, okay. This is what it looks like. This is what I see. This is the difference, okay? And you can see right now, I don't know what caused some of this, like 0206. Why are those screens, coming up, and yet in 0217 they're not? So, boy, there's got to be a way to direct compare that somehow,
Yeah. Yeah. I think there is. There is. Yeah.
All right, Luke, thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Scott.
Take care.
Yeah. Take care.